Am I just that full of juice? Juice. Hi everyone, it's Johnny back with another video, and today is time for another story time. This week we are talking about some of the times that I've had really bad nosebleeds. Keyword some. So trigger warning, obviously the story time involves blood. So instead of calling it blood, let's just go like DanganRonpa with it and say pink juice. So I deal with something called hemorrhagic nosebleeds, and I've always had them since I was very young, like very young. One of the earliest ones was with my mother at the age of 4. We were literally just crossing the street and I was completely okay. She looks down, grabs my hand, and little 4-year-old Johnny grabs her hand and happily starts walking down the street. She looks back down at me when we finish crossing the street. To her dismay, when she looks back down to let go of my hand, she sees that my shirt is completely covered in pink juice, and pink juice is just pouring out of me. And so I've always kind of had them. Another one later on, I was probably in 6th or 7th grade at the time. I woke up one day to get ready for school, and all of a sudden, I just felt a pop in my nose. Literally, I hadn't even gotten out of bed yet, and it just started pouring pink juice everywhere. And I'm like trying to stop it and like, you know, prevent it from going all over my bed and me and all that. And I have to like push myself out of the bed. And obviously I'm a lefty, so I'm using my dominant hand, and the way I'm laying, to push myself off the bed, I would have to use my left hand. So there was a pink juice handprint just on my wall for like a solid 1.5 years because we couldn't wash it off. Until like eventually we painted over it. It had sunken into the wall by the time we got back, because my mother rushed me to the hospital because no matter what we were doing, it just didn't stop. I was literally coughing up chunks of pink juice. And so we go to the hospital, and of course it's New York City, and the waiting rooms in hospitals are god awful, so they give me like one of those weird like kidney shaped bucket things that they give you in case you're like nauseous and gonna throw up. They gave me one of those and just like hold it to your nose. So I'm just there like bleeding into it. And then like about like half an hour later, I'm still bleeding, and the doctor finally comes out and just comes with a spray, and he's just like sprays a couple of times in both nostrils, and the pink juice stops. For now. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. The spray is like this cauterizing spray that will stop the bleeding. I need some of that because honestly, it happens pretty regularly, and I would like to not die one of these days from pink juice. Probably one of the worst ones. I was in high school. I was a junior in high school, and I'm sitting there minding my own damn business in English class, and all of a sudden, I get the feeling. A lot of the times when I would get a really bad nose juicing, nose juicing. A lot of times when I would get a really bad nose juicing, I would get like a weird like tension and like a pop. And so I felt the pop, and I was like, oh shit. And I just start feeling the coming down, and that's usually what happens before like the faucet happens. So instantly it starts to pour out more, and I'm covering with my dominant hand again like usual, and I get up and run to the front door of the classroom. And the teacher's like, where do you think you're going? Class isn't over yet. I don't know where you think you're going. You can't just get up and leave. I would understand that if some of the other students in this class were doing it, but I've never really been a problematic student. Like, I had problems with certain teachers, but everyone else loved me. I was very polite, I did my work, I responded, I knew what we were talking about, I kept up to date with the studies and everything like that. I'm not one to give problems to teachers that aren't rude and don't give me problems, in other words. So, I've been completely polite, I've never caused any trouble in this class, and she sees me like this, so clearly something's going on. There's no need to be asinine about it, talking about, where do you think you're going? Like, calm down, it's an English class, and I already have the credits. I'm taking it because they're like, well, you can't not take the class. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm just there, and I'm like trying to speak, but I'm like stuttering because it's just like the juice is like starting to cover up my mouth and going down my throat, and I'm like gagging on it. And so I just go, and she's like, oh, go. And I'm like, again, no shit. I'm not gonna just like run out of your classroom. I've never done that a day in my life. Like, I'm out. Fuck this. Bye. I can just imagine that, honestly. I've never thought to do that. Just like, I'm done with your class. I'm leaving. Gets up and runs out. But anyway, I get to the bathroom, and I'm just really trying to stop the pink juice at this point. The entire time, I'm just like,
I'm in danger.
I'm there. I like run in. I lean over a toilet. I'm profusely juicing and coughing up chunks of juice into this toilet while like trying to stuff my nose with tissue, but nothing's working. I'm like going back and forth at one point to like clean up a bit because I'm just like covered in it, to the sink and back to the toilet, so I'm not like juicing all over the bathroom, but it's failing miserably. And juicing on the floor, I'm juicing in the sink. The bathroom looks like a crime scene. and that's that I am severely minimalizing how much is happening. So just imagine if I was just like freely juicing every which way. I slipped on my own juice. And again, my hand's still bloody. My hand's still covered in juice. So, like usual, I went to go brace myself with my dominant hand. And of course, there's a juicy handprint on the bathroom stall door. And this class was in second period. I left the class midway through second period. While I'm dealing with all this, obviously, I'm not paying attention to what time it is or anything like that. I see a few people come in and out, and like some people like literally go in, do what they gotta do and run out. Some people will literally just walk in and turn back around like they just witnessed a crime. And I'm just like, please help me. Eventually, one of the APs from the school walked into the bathroom and he's like, oh my god, what the hell happened here? And he thought that someone had beaten me. Because again, this bathroom looked like a crime scene and I'm just drenched in pink juice. I'm already kind of delirious at the point because I had bled so much that he's like, okay, like, we were cool, and he's like, okay, Johnny, we need to get you to the infirmary. Because this is the one, if you watch that story time, help me and my friends go to the infirmary when my arm bent backwards. That was a whole other experience. But, so he's like, we need to get you to the infirmary. And I'm like, oh, I'm fine, don't worry, I just need to try to get this bleeding to stop. And he's like, you're not fine, look at this room. We need to go now. So he takes me, like, grabs me by the arm, makes sure, like, he's, like, I'm leaning on him, and gets me into the elevator. We go downstairs to the infirmary, and they see me, like, oh my god, what happened? Do we need to go, like, do we need to get the security involved or anything? They thought, again, a fight. They thought I had been beaten. And he's like, apparently it's a nosebleed. I'm like, I bled a lot. I swear, if I bleed too much, I get to be like Baymax on low battery.
We jumped out a window.
No, it's quiet.
Shh, we jumped out a window.
And so I'm like, I bled a lot. And they're like, you're still juicing a lot. Not juiced. Presently juicing. So I'm like trying to control it still, and they take me into the back. And apparently they have the same spray that they had in the hospital. Cool. So they stick it in and just like kind of spray in both. And they have me like kind of lay down in one of the beds for a bit. They bring me a cookie and some orange juice. They're like, you lost a lot of blood. This isn't gonna do much, but at least, you know, eat this, drink this, and call it a day. It turns out, right, by the time the AP had found me, it was already like 6th period. From going into the bathroom at 2nd period. These classes are like 45 minutes. And here I was, thinking like I was in there for like half an hour or something. No. I literally missed all my classes except for the last class of the day, which was my vocal music class. And when I come in there, I'm still covered in juice. And I was like, what happened to you? I'm like, I juiced. I juiced. And I looked at some of my guy friends, I'm like, did you see the boys' bathroom on the second floor? They're like, yeah, what happened there? Like, that was me. Like, did someone do this to you? Do we gotta fuck somebody up? Like, people were ready to go to fight for me. I'm like, I'm okay, it wasn't anybody, it was just, she could tell you she was in second period, it just kinda happened. She's like, that was from second period? I'm like, yeah, I just got back from the infirmary. I got home, I threw my clothes in the wash because again, I was just like covered in it, and called it a day. I just kind of lay down for a bit. But yeah, no, that still regularly happens. But that one was the worst one I've ever had. I bled for like 3.5 to 4 hours. And frankly, I didn't know that was possible. I thought I would have bled out by that point. I'm surprised that I still had juice within me to function even remotely. But here I am, alive and kicking. Well, I'm alive at least. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed the story because I really enjoyed telling it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and bing bong the ding dong down below to be alerted for when I make a new video. And until next time, if you like these story times, maybe go check out the other story times. Like I said, go check out the one where I fell up the flight of stairs. That one is one of my favorites. If you don't like story times, maybe check out one of the fever dreams where I react to things from my childhood. Or maybe check out a Florida Man video, or check out some of my other random videos. I have something for pretty much everybody. But until next time, bye!